Hello, USANA family. Happy almost Thanksgiving. I'm excited to be able to share with you today, Workshop Wednesday. So before we get started, if you don't have a pen and a paper, please stop this recording and grab it because I am going to share with you what I'm very excited about, something that I've been working on for the last 7 months. And I'm seeing a lot of great things happening in my business. And I get to share that with you today. So if you don't have a pen and paper, grab it now because you're about to be having the opportunity to win some awesome USANA merchandise. Okay? So if you have a pen and paper, we're going to keep going. All right, so where do I want to begin? The title of this workshop is, do you want to give a better presentation, increase your value, make more sales faster, and really show your prospect or your client or your team extra love? I feel like we do, and I feel like this is a really appropriate time to do that. So this isn't going to be a very long one because I have a big meal preparing that I'm starting to prepare already for tomorrow. We have 50 people coming, and 20 of them are my own peeps. So I know that you all are doing the same. So what we're going to begin with is, I think most of you have seen or heard of this book, The 5 Love Languages. Yeah? Okay, so this particular copy for me, we got in 1998. And I'm going to read a little excerpt out of it. Spend some time writing down what you think is your primary love language. Then list the other 4 in order of importance. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to do today because, only another excerpt, meeting my wife's need for love is a choice I make each day. If I know her primary love language and choose to speak it, her deepest emotional need will be met and she will feel secure in my love. All right, so how does that apply to our prospect? So I want you to think of, before we make this list that I just mentioned, I want you to think of your ideal prospect, the ideal person that you want to work with. So for instance, for me, I want to work with what I call conscious entrepreneurs. So those people are people that love is important to, contribution is important to. So they're big thinkers and they want to move the ball forward or move the needle forward or whatever that saying is. So I'm very specific with who I want to work with. So I know my perfect scenario of my customer. So I want you guys to think of who that is, and then I want you to write down what you know about this person, because we are going to figure out sort of the love language of your perfect customer, okay? Because I think this makes sense to you. If you understand, or if you have an idea of what this person is like, right? What they value, then you can, when you're presenting to them, choose to focus on those things. Because if we're not focusing on our customer and the things that are important and valuable to them, then we are not probably speaking their love language, right? So when we sit down to present to them, I'll give you an example. And I'm sure when I start sharing this, you guys will relate, and maybe you have one burned in your memory, but I totally do. Numerous times, and really, honestly, until recently, I have done it always this way. I think I'm a good communicator, and I am a good communicator, but there was a huge element missing. So I went to a presentation just recently. I just share one that's recent. I went to a presentation recently with a man, number one, and he's an officer. And I sat down with him, and I know him, he's my friend, and I sat down with him, and I started to share with him. And pretty quick in, like super quick in, all of a sudden I started noticing his eyes were like this. Instead of engaging with me, I noticed that he was like looking around the room, like his eyes were up and, just kind of shuffling around in his chair a little bit. And I guess that's all I want to share with you, because I think you know what I mean. I knew at that moment that I'd lost his interest. So that's why it's super important, and why we're going to do this workshop, why we're going to write it down, because I think and I believe and I know and I've experienced that once we start paying attention to what's valuable to that person and know it ahead of time, we can save time in a presentation. We can bring value. That person is going to leave feeling valued and that we have saved them time. And hopefully we've done a good job by presenting that information and the values that they view that information through. And we can make that close or that sale even faster. Okay, backing it up. Go back to that list, your perfect prospect, your ideal prospect, and I want you to write down, because this should be somebody that you have never met with before. And so I want you to write down, and you can take a minute and go do this, because if you don't know right offhand, I want you to research. I want you to write down the things about them that you can find out. Where do they work? How do they dress? Are they married? Do they have children? Do they post a lot on social media? How long have they been in business? I want you to write down, what do they do for fun, if you know? What kind of car do they drive? When they greet you, how do they greet you? All these things are really important. Sorry, that's my phone in the background. All these things are really important actually to know ahead of time before we go to our presentation, because they can be really, really key indicators of what's important to that prospect, so that when you go, if you're a high nurturer like myself and you meet with someone, particularly like this guy, he's a cop, and I didn't take any of this in. I wasn't thinking, I wasn't being mindful. I just wanted to go love him and give him some good information, do the best I can to ask good questions and, to know what's most important to him. But that all takes time, right? So I'm understanding that knowing this stuff ahead of time can really save me time and bring greater value. So I didn't know that, or I wasn't mindful of that and intentional. And when I went, I was speaking very nurturing to him. So I lost him. I lost him pretty quickly. So we want to find out these things before we go to that presentation so that we can actually speak to that immediately. Okay, does that make sense? So turn off this video. I want you to go find at least 5 things about your ideal customer and write them down on a list. They should be all around sort of those form questions, right? Where do they work? What do they do for an occupation? Are they married? All the things I just kind of mentioned. And write those things down. And then you're going to take a minute. You're going to think about, now that you know those things, what would you guess are the values or the things that are going to be most important to this person? There's a whole bunch of things we can learn on this topic, but that has, just knowing that and being mindful of that has helped me present better and bring more value. And just like the 5 love languages, when I can understand my customer, the better I understand them and what's important to them, the more they're going to feel my love, right? The more they're going to be open to what I feel is valuable to bring them. It's a journey, and it's not something that we understand quickly. It takes a lot of time, and it's certainly something that I feel is worth diving into and understanding greater. And I hope this helps you guys. So how this contest works is, for whoever wants to win the merchandise that I mentioned, that is the prize of Workshop Wednesday, is you get to win a $50 gift certificate for USANA merchandise, which I think is perfect. Black Friday is 2 days and all those cyber sales and stuff. And so I always buy USANA merchandise every year for my family. So I hope that you guys, I chose a good thing for you guys to win. And in order to win that, write those things, those 5 things down. I want you to snap a picture of those 5 things and then send that in to me. You don't have to put the prospect's name and the name of your person you're going to prospect, but I want you to snap a picture of that and send that in, include it in the comments here, send it in, and then write your comment of what's one thing that you're going to address or be mindful of when you go to that presentation with this person. Okay, so I will take how we do this is I'm going to take the first 10 people that respond to this and get that information back to me, and then they have some sort of system that the amazing Brian Douglas has come up with that we do it really fair. So we'll take those top 10 people and we'll choose from those, and then I'll announce that winner probably on Friday, since Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Okay, so I hope that you guys feel this, how kind of exciting this is. It seems very simple. It's not. There's a lot of things we can do. Paige Hunter talked about it the other day about being present, and I feel that is really part of this. In order to be present, we got to stop thinking about the questions. We do want to think about the questions, but we want to know as much ahead of time as we can so that we can just give them the value. Instead of, trying to figure them out and doing all this, we're going to save them time and we're going to increase the value we're bringing. They're going to feel the value. We're going to make more sales. They're going to experience the love and value we have to offer. So I hope this helps you guys get your answers in, and I'm excited for who's to win. And feel the love from me, because I'm grateful for all of you being on this page. I'm grateful for all the leaders that have taught me so much. And I'm grateful for USANA and the great health that they've imparted to myself and my family, and that I get the opportunity to pay all this forward, what they've given me, even in personal growth, but also in personal growth and also health-wise, that I get to share with you to be part of your guys' lives. And then we all get to do that and make the world a better place. So happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Much love. And I look forward to hearing back from you guys. Bye.